Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today on this adventure in real estate. I'm Steve Furrow with the Kingery team. We are in Rocky Mount. We're on location here at Virginia Title Center and we're meeting some of the great team there. We've got Miss Dawn Finney. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Dawn. Thank you very much. So Dawn, we're talking a little bit about Virginia Title Center and kind of the team and so forth. Do you do a lot of, you're in and out here all the time here in Rocky Mount?
Yes, I work here a lot. I work in Roanoke office a lot and basically wherever they need me.
Okay.
So I do the closing part, actually sitting down with the folks and going through the paperwork. And that takes me all over the place, which is great.
So when you say you sit down with the folks, if I'm purchasing a home and I go through the process, at the end of when it referred to as closing day, we're going to come and sign the paperwork to get the keys. You're the person that's going to go over that when I'm sitting down at the table.
Yes,
is that right?
Yes, I get to be the lucky person that everything else is already done, and so I get to do the actual paperwork and explain the documents a bit and notarize everything and handle all the final signatures.
So how many pens do you carry with you?
Probably at least 20. But people love our pens, which is great. So we're constantly refilling pens. But yes, blue pens. We always want everything signed in blue nowadays. And so yes, I do carry a lot of ink pens around.
All right. And do you have like extraordinary vision?
No, not so much.
Well, I have seen you read upside down.
Oh, okay, yes. Well, I think it's because I have everything memorized by this point, yes. I used to work in mortgage servicing in the 90s, which helped me understand the loan documents specifically because I worked with those on the lending side of things years ago. So that kind of helped prepare me for what I do now.
So you've got some mortgage understanding previous. How long have you been here at Virginia Title Center?
Goodness, I wish I would have thought about that. I'm thinking about 5 years. Angie and I used to have our own small title company together. She drug me into this business a while ago. And then we started working with Virginia Title Center somewhat on a part-time basis. And then we decided to partner up full-time. And so Angie came on board full-time with them as a processor, and I came on to do the witness closings, and I help with some other things too because of my background. So the last few years have been so crazy, as you know, so there's been different things I do. I wear a lot of hats with them, but my primary job is doing the closings. So
you mentioned the last few years, and I got to believe that has something to do maybe a little bit with COVID.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
So tell me, in your mind, as you know, you've mentioned been here 5 years, but like pre-COVID, what's sort of the biggest changes you've seen?
Well, two parts. As far as what I do for the closings, especially initially when we had to wear masks and clean, and it was a challenge, but we rolled with the punches and did the best we could. I've had some interesting things over the last few years. Just last week, I had a couple where one of them had tested positive, so we had to do their closing in the car. So I went out in the parking lot and met them, had clipboards to go through everything, and so we do closings outside. I've had to do some nursing home closings through the window even during this COVID period. So it's been interesting, but Virginia Title Center has really been good about figuring out a way to make things work for people, not just during COVID, but whatever the case may be. They really have a good team of people that make it work.
Well, it sounds like, with you specifically, you've had to be really flexible.
Yes.
Never know what that day might bring as far as from those aspects you just mentioned there.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, working, you think you kind of going to have things in one way and then it turns out to be something completely different.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And the courthouse has changed a lot of the way. Most all of the courthouses now, we do things electronically with them. So it's, which also required learning new systems and learning new ways of doing things. And that's really become more efficient. So there's been some good things that have come out of COVID as well.
I was going to ask you, I would guess that you would like that part, but I don't know what all was involved with taking the documents to the courthouse. But I would think maybe you don't have to make that trip. You're okay with that, I would guess.
That, well, with gas prices these days, for sure. But it's also sped things up for the clients, because oftentimes if we can record electronically, especially if it's a courthouse that's far away, it's speeding things up, so those sellers can get their money faster too.
That sounds like a pretty good deal. Like a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've been here a while. Well, you talked about the flexibility, some different things that you do, and from that standpoint, what would you say is your favorite thing about Virginia Title Center?
Well, the teamwork is really good. I mean, we have a really good team of people that everybody works together very well, I think, and people are willing to fill in for each other, which is nice. When it was just Angie and myself years ago, a mom and pop business, so to speak, you couldn't really go on vacation or do any of those things. So it is very nice to have a team of people, and they're so supportive. Everyone is very supportive of each other. Yeah.
Great. Sounds like a great place to work.
It's a good place to work, yes.
And a pretty good place to have your closing done as well.
I think so, yes. Yes, absolutely.
Well, Miss Dawn, we thank you for joining us today.
All right. Thank you for having me.
And we'll maybe look at having you again sometime.
Okay. We'll see. All right. Thank you.
There's another we'll see. So. Well, guys, we appreciate you joining us out there. We'll let that wrap things up today for this adventure in real estate. We look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, take care.